All right, so looking at your paper, slope is also known, or it stands for what in our y equals mx plus b? So y equals mx plus b. What does the slope stand for? I'll give you a hint, still written on the board, and you've written it in your notes for the last couple of days. Sebastian? M. So this is also known as the rate of what? Change. So it's the steepness, which is just like how vertical, or how, that's the weirdest looking word ever. How vertical it goes, or how like steep it, words have not worked for me today. How steep it declines. So the steepness of a line is your slope. And you always do what over what? Ellie? Rise over run. Which is also your, what is on top? What variable is it? Not variable, I'm sorry. What value is it? Is it your x or your y that's on top?
Y.
It's your y, because your y is vertical, going up or down. And then your run is obviously the x. And it's a ratio of your vertical change to your horizontal change between two quantities. And essentially, slope is describing how one quantity change is in relation to another. So the past couple days, we've just been very specifically talking about how to identify the rise over the run, and then how to identify if a line is positive, negative, zero, or undefined. Those are still going to play in today, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth with it. All right, thumbs up when you have this written down, and we can move on. So, in a real life situation, some things that can apply to your rise and your is a mountain. Remember, when you go up, it's positive because why? It's increasing. It's going what? Puff, puff, positive.
Yeah, that thing.
And then when it's going down, we know it's negative because it's nice. Negative.
Because it's the opposite of positive.
It's the opposite of positive. Technically, yes, but. All right, and then stairs are also an example of this as well. So, when you climb stairs or a hill, are you actually moving in two directions at one time? So, when you're going up, are you moving in two directions at what time? And what direction would those be?
Forward and up.
So think about it for a second. So we got forward and up, we got north and east. Jeffrey, what do you think? Okay, I really like your second word, horizontal. So we're moving horizontally, right? What is the other word that we've been using a lot? So horizontally and Ben? Vertically. So I'm not going to write full sentences right here. So just vertically and horizontally. And Sebastian, since you knew that you're moving up and over, essentially, how do you know that?
Because when you're going upstairs, you're going up the stairs. And the stairs, if this was stairs, it would end right here. And you would start right here. So you'd get from point A to point B by going up and forward.
So when we're moving vertically and horizontally, we're not going straight up and down or straight left and right.
Nope.
Look at you knowing something. I'm proud of you. All right, number 2. Think about this one before y'all start just like calling out. So, which mountain is the steepest? So, looking at A or mountain B, which set of stairs is the steepest? And then, do you think this is the most, do you think, I can't, never mind. Y'all can read on your own. So take a minute, look at your stairs, look at your mountain, and then figure out which one is the most responsible for their steepness. Like what? What is responsible for a mountain that is super steep or not super steep? So think about that for a second. Think about it. You can write it down if you want. If you're not sure, don't write anything. All right, stand up when you're ready. Or if you didn't write anything, you can stand up as well. Everybody stop talking. All right, have a seat. Which mountain is the steepest? What do you think, Brayden?
Mountain A,
Why?
because like the way the vertical is at an angle going up is like kind of like it's hard to explain. It's just like just looking at it, you can tell.
Okay, so mountain A, that is correct. But why? Why is mountain A the steepest of mountain A and Mount B? Brayden?
Because it's like going up more than.
It's more vertical.
Shh, are you Brayden?
No. Yes.
Yes, it's more vertical. Like it's facing up more.
So it's increasing. Increasing what?
Increasing. Like
Don't listen to him.
vertical.
So it's increasing more rapidly
Yes.
because they both increase, right? They both have a steep, but this one is going up faster.
Yes.
Okay. And then obviously, which stairs, A or B, or first or second, whatever you want to call it. Which one do you guys think? The stairs. Which one is more steep? Ariana. Why?
It's going down faster.
So it's descending. Ooh, I can't spell that. Descending faster. Okay. You have a question?
I have a statement.
Yes, sir.
So, I wrote that the stairs, like, there's like each step starts with 0 slope.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, wouldn't that make the steepness go down? Or make it less steep because it has to go at more of like a straight angle?
No, but it would make it a negative slope because it's going down, right? So the ones that are going down, are they positive slopes or negative slopes?
Negative.
Negative. So it doesn't necessarily matter with that. It's just you have to understand, like, if it's descending, it's negative. If it's increasing, it's positive. And that'll come into play when we do our equations. All right. This next part. This is where you need to pay attention because this is ultimately how we are going to start setting up our equations to solve. So it says to give steepness, which is a measurable, I can't, holy crap. If I could read today, that would be fantastic.
A measurable number?
Thank you. Would you like to teach?
Yes.
I mean, you might do better than I. All right. You need two distances of the directions traveled. These two values are put into a ratio. So it's not a fraction, it's put into a ratio. And it's called the rate of change or your slope. So it's a ratio, and it's called the rate of change or slope. And the variable m is used for that ratio. All right, we obviously know m equals what goes on top, what goes on the bottom. Ellie. Okay. And then, just so you know, the vertical distance is going to be your y2 minus y1, and your horizontal distance is going to be your x2 minus x1. That will be tomorrow, like where we apply this information. Because that's when you're given two ordered pairs. You have to find that, then you find the slope, then you put, long story. Not fun.
You have to do that in this class.
You had to? All right, thumbs up when you have this copy down. And then you guys can go ahead and finish the general types of slope because we've talked about that for enough that I don't think I need to guide you through that part. So you're just writing what A, B, C, and D are.
What about the words?
What do you mean, what about the words?
The blanks. Do we have to fill those in?
She just said that.
I'm gonna give you one of those.
A heart?
Yes. All right. Stand up when you have A, B, C, and D done. All right, A, raise your hand. What is it? Positive, negative, 0, or undefined? Richard.
Negative.
It is a negative. B, what is it? Anthony. Positive. C, what is it? Sarai. 0. And the last one is obviously Braden. Undefined. All right, flip your paper over. That too. I mean, it might be. All right, so for 1 through 12, I'm gonna put up a slideshow real quick, and we're just gonna go through. And you're writing P for positive, N for negative, 0. What?
For 0.
We skipped a part? Huh?
That's
No?
what I was talking about. No. There's words. This is the words I was
Oh, it's from. In order to decide which type of value the slope will be, you always analyze the line from left to right. Yeah, sorry. Left to right.
That's what I was talking about.
That's why I keep y'all around today. So left to right. Sorry, guys. Okay, now 1 through 12. I'm going to put up a Google slide real quick, and you're writing P for positive, N for negative, Z for 0, and U for undefined. And we're just going to go 1 through 12 real quick. All right. What is it? Write it down. Write it down. Just the letter. All right, number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. $11. 12. All right, so what was number 1? Raise your hand. Number 1. Ariana. Undefined. What was number 2? Sebastian. Negative. What was number 3? Brayden.
Positive.
Positive. Raiden, number 4. 0. Richard, number 5. Positive. Ryan, number 6. 0. Brielle, number 7. Negative. Nevaeh, number 8. Cam, number 9. 0. Number 10. Jeffrey. Undefined. Soraya, number 11. You said negative. And number 12. Richard. Undefined. All right, so this is where the fun begins. All right, we know how to take an equation. We know how to use our we know how to use our x value, plug it in, find our y, and we know how to plot, right? We've done all that. We know how to do that. So we're gonna just real quick practice. So here's my x value. I'm gonna plug it in. Y equals 2 times -1 minus 3. What does that give me? 2 times -1 minus 3. Raise your hand. 2 times -1 minus 3. Nevaeh. -5. All right, the next one. Y equals 2 times 0 minus 3. Raise your hand. Jeffrey. -3. All right, the next one. Y equals 2 times 1 minus 3. Raise your hand. -1. Next one. Y equals 2 times 2 minus 3. Nevaeh. 1. Next one. Y equals 2 times 3 minus 3. Soraya. 3. And the last one. Y equals 2 times 4 minus 3. Raiden? 5. Okay? So that should be fairly easy for us. That was something that we spent a decent amount of time on. It's not very hard. You just got to plug it in and solve. Now, we're going to graph these points. Okay, starting with the first one. So I go 1 to the left and 5 down. So this is my first point right here. Right there. The next one, 0, -3. So it's right here. So first one, second one. All right, someone tell me the next one. How do I get to it? How do I get to it? 1, -1. How do I get there? Jeffrey. Okay, one to the right, one down. What do you guys notice so far about your points? They have a pattern. What's our pattern? Do you know? Do you see it yet? What is it?
Going two up at a positive
So you're going 2 up, and how many over?
1.
1. So every single one is 2 up, 1 over. So what is you already know your slope, right? Or your slope already. 2 to 1. All right, let's keep going. The next one is 2 over, 1 up. Or 2 to the right, 1 up. Next one is 3 to the right, 3 up. The last one is 4 to the right, and thank you all. And then draw your line. Try to make it as straight as possible, which I can never draw a straight line even if I tried. So is this a positive slope, negative slope? What do you think?
Positive.
Raise your hand and tell me, how do you know it's a positive slope? Soraya?
Because it's going from the bottom left to the top.
It's going from the bottom left to the top right. So I want you to pick somewhere on your line that you have good connected circle dots, whatever you want to call them. And I want you to identify your slope. So Braden already told us we're going 2 up and 1 to the right. You're going, so pick any 2 dots. So everyone look right here. So, because I can't draw a straight line. I picked the first dot that I made, and I just found my slope, right? So I went 2 up, 1 over. So I want everybody to pick a set of 2 coordinates and find your slope. Identify it. Thumbs up when you're ready to move on. We're going to talk about it in a second. All right. So now it says find the slope/rate of change of the line graphed above. Well, we already did that. So this next part should be fairly easy for us because we're already noticing that pattern. So it says choose any 2 coordinates on the line, which we did. And then it says draw a stair step between them, and it gives you your what over what? Your rise over your run. And then it says count the units on the grid from the rise and run and put them into the ratio. So our rise was 2, our run was 1. And the biggest thing that you guys have to do is this part right here. You have to simplify this if you can. Okay, you're always trying to simplify your ratio. Remember, it's a ratio, it's not a fraction. Okay? If you want to highlight step 1 and step 2, you can. That will just kind of become second nature, I feel like. All right, so now I want you to answer this last question. The slope of the line from the function y equals 2x minus 3 is what? What do you think it is? Just once you think you have it, just give me a thumbs up. Do it that way. Thumbs up when you think you have it. Nevaeh, what do you think of this? Okay. What do you think it is? You just had your thumb up.
Lost it.
Right, what do you think it is?
Because I thought she got it.
Well,
I didn't say she did or she didn't. I just wanted to see what y'all came up with.
I was gonna say positive since I was looking at like how the dots connected.
Okay, well, it can't be it's got to be a number, so we have to have a number here. Jasmine, what did you say? You said 2? Okay, did anybody else say 2 over 1 or 2? No? Hey, did anybody else have anything else? So why can't we figure this out? Like, why do I only have 2 people who... You what?
I know that's it.
You know that's it? Why?
Because when we solved it, we just solved what we thought it was solved.
It's impossible.
So it's the same thing that we solved.
So, but is our slope 2 over 1 or is our slope 2?
0.
Those are the same thing.
It's the same. Who said it? It's the same thing.
I should have said that a while ago. I was so confused what
Why?
I'm talking
It's not rocket science, y'all. Math is not rocket science.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Y'all make it rocket science.
Rocket science involves math. Or math.
Huh?
Rocket science involves
But
math.
I knew it was the
And
same
like
thing. I just
the
didn't know what.
buoyancy of
that's
the
why I was
air.
confused.
No.
And like how the
Say
air
what you
comes
think,
off,
honestly.
have
Like,
the trajectories.
what are you? Stop talking. Jesus, take the wheel. All right.
Add the, like,
You guys are gonna fill out this next section down here. Now before y'all flip out and lose your minds, stop and listen. You have all of this information within the top 2 sections that we filled out. Okay, so you are answering question number 1, number 2, and you're doing the steps for 1, 2, and 3. Stand up when you're done. You're answering this little section down here, because you have all the information in the top 2 sections that we just did. I don't know how else to answer that, because there's like this thing right here.
Ask me a question. What are these?
I don't know. No idea.
Are they just there?
I don't know. Can you, y'all? I'm gonna lose it. Do the work. It's not hard. Just simply do number 2, all of that, and stand up when you're finished. Do you need in the math tempo because I'm tired of watching you write on people? So stand up when you're finished.
After I realized what it was talking about,
We're not talking. We're just thinking. All right, if y'all are not done, it's because you're thinking too hard at this point. Okay, have a seat. So, question number 1 says, what value or what values are responsible for the rise? like Nevaeh pointed out, it's right here. It tells you your answer right here if you don't know. So we are going to write our y values. Okay, which values are responsible for the run? Richard, x values. Now, step 1 and 2 are telling you what's our rate of change. So how do we go from -1 to 0? What do?
+1.
We do +1. How do we go from 0 to 1? Ariana.
+1.
So the entire side has to be the same, right? It cannot change. It's always like whatever your rate of change is, it's the same for everything in your table. All right, so over here, our numbers were -5, -3, -1, 1, 3, 5. So what is the rate of change on the rise side? Jeffrey? +2. So the entire side is +2. All right, and then this last part right down here, where you essentially write your ratio, we already did this, 2 to 1, which equals 2. So please make sure you get this information down so that you have it. All right, you are going to glue this paper in your notebook. Make sure that you can see both sides, so you don't want to glue the entire thing down. And then you need to write on the next blank right side, slope practice / homework, and get out the piece of paper that I just passed out to you guys. All right, we are going to do number 1 together, and we're going to do number 7 together so that you guys know exactly what you're supposed to be doing for this. So it says find the slope / rate of change for each graph. Write in simplest form for questions 4 through 6. First, identify the perfect coordinate on the line before calculating the rate of change. So it's just finding, like, over here you're picking your perfect point, which is a point dead center in the middle of 2. Like, it's not in the middle of a random line, it's in the middle of 2 coordinates. So for this one, we're gonna use, let's just use these 2. So I'm gonna go up 2, and I'm gonna go to the right 3. So my rise is 2, my run is 3. Then I'm gonna write 2 to 3. Can it be simplified? No, so then it becomes 2/3. Okay? So that is how you're doing the top ones. Do I need to show you how to find the perfect point for number 4, 5, or 6? Do you guys understand or no? You tell me. Do you understand what a perfect point is? No? Okay, a perfect point, guys, is where it lands perfectly in a line. So, like, that is a perfect point right there. Because it's dead center in between 2, like an X and a Y. It's not in the middle of a line. So that's what you're doing. You're finding 2 perfect points and then finding the slope for that one. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's go to number 7. Am I going too fast or are we good? Okay, go to number 7. This one says find the slope / rate of change of each table. Write in simplest form. So now you're not given the graph. but you can still say, okay, how do I go from 0 to 1? Plus 1. How do I go from 1 to 2? Plus 1, plus 1. How do I go from 7 to 3? Minus 4. How do I go from 3 to negative 1? Minus 4. How do I go from negative 1 to negative 5? All right, so now be careful. Which one is my rise? Negative 1 or negative 4 plus 1? Raise your hand. Which one is my rise? Negative 4 or plus 1, Cam? Negative 4. So that goes here. And then obviously my plus 1 goes down here. Don't get those confused. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? And then obviously when we simplify this, this just becomes negative 4. So that is what you're doing for your homework for tonight. Everything, again, can be done right here on this piece of paper. You don't have to do any work in your notebook, nothing. I would like you to use your color to identify your slopes in the 1 through 6, though. Make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Questions? All right, go ahead, get started.